Hey everyone, it's Sherry from Trail Runner's Journey, and it's the TRJ Live Show, episode 51. Blisters happen. They do. We are live. Yes, we sure are. We are live. Welcome to the show, everyone. And we are live both on Facebook here as well as YouTube. So just hang on a second. I'm going to make sure that I definitely am live on Facebook, and we are going to get rocking. So there we are. Yes, rock and roll. So how's everyone today? If you don't know me, I'm Sherry from Trail Runner's Journey. I'm an ultra marathon runner. I'm also postmenopausal. So yeah, been there, done that. But I'm an ultra runner as well as an ultra run coach and certified in endurance nutrition. Now I'm kind of like the uncoach. I'm for those that don't want to coach, but they want the strategy, personalization, and accountability to be totally race ready when they toe that line. So that's me. And I've been through a lot of races, different type of races. And today we're going to show blisters. And yes, I've had blisters. So today's show, welcome everybody on YouTube as well as Facebook. We're talking about blisters. It is the thing that can really, it's a race stopper. It can be a race stopper, absolutely. And the thing is, there's an assumption that the longer you go, the greater the chances you'll have blisters. Well, possibly, but they could also happen in short races as well too. So we're going to go into the 4 causes of blisters. Yep, there's 4 of them, as well as how to prevent them. And I'm going to show you at the end of the show something to have in your blister pack, in your race kit, in case you do get nasty heel blisters. And you're gonna see what my feet look like. And yeah, it's not for the faint of heart. No. So let's get started. So blisters, they can be minor, they can be horrid, and they could be up to trench foot. So do you pop a blister? I'm gonna mention that right here and now. That depends. Optimally, you want to leave that blister alone. If it's not bothering you and it's not causing grief, leave the blister alone, because all the fluid inside, it will absorb and it will heal itself. Now, if the blister is it is nagging you underneath the toenail, especially, it's a judgment call for popping them, and they do bring great big relief, but just make sure you're doing it, I'm going to say, safely, so that you're not introducing any infection. So popping a blister, it's the definitive. It depends. If you can leave it, leave it. But if not, popping it might be the best thing. So let's look at the 4 causes of blisters: friction, wetness, hydration, as to whether you're hydrated or not, and foreign object. So we're going to go through every one. Foreign object is the one I'm going to leave to the last, because I got a slideshow to show you. We got pictures. Yes, we do. Okay. First thing with blisters is friction. So that means there's something rubbing, obviously. First of all, check your shoes. Check your shoes to make sure the toe box is wide enough. Okay, that's the first thing to check, is that toe box wide enough. If your toe box is scrunching in on your toes, so your toes are like this, you see these 2 fingers are rubbing together, there's a cause for blisters. So you want to make sure that nothing is causing it's too tight, whether your shoes are laced too tight, but basically make sure your shoes are wide enough, and also that your foot isn't slopping around. Because if your foot is slopping around, yes, you still need room for your toes to do their jobs and splay, but you don't want to have your feet slopping around either. So make sure you've got your foot nicely sucked in there and nicely positioned, so that it doesn't move, your toes do its job, and your shoes aren't too tight. Okay, that's the first thing to look at. And the thing is, with shoes, make sure, they're not too tight and they're not too small. And there's some things that I've seen out there that you should actually size up. Well, here's the deal. If your shoes fit properly, you shouldn't have to size up. And yes, feet can swell in a race, particularly if you are dehydrated, and that means low in sodium. Okay. Now let's look at wetness. Wetness. That means your feet are wet and your feet are wet, and wetness is a blister magnet. Big cause. It doesn't mean, okay, let's backtrack. Your feet are wet. Big cause, cotton socks. Cotton is rotten, and why we say cotton is rotten is because they hold the moisture. Your feet will always be wet. So yeah, this is a blister magnet. Forget about the cotton. What you need are wicking material. Is a wicking material. So what that means is that, yeah, these will get wet, but it basically displaces the liquid so the sock can dry. I've had my feet wet, and within a short period of time, they're dry again. Okay. So mind you, if you're in a mud puddle all the time, your feet are always going to be wet. But so make sure your socks are wicking. Now there's multitude of socks out there that you can try. And it's a preference. It's a preference as to what type. I have my type two types that I really like. So I stick with those. I really do. Now, let's look at hydration. Now, hydration, this means, are you hydrated? Now, I don't mean just for the race. I mean in your everyday life. Are you hydrated? And that is hydrated sufficiently from day-to-day life. Because you know what? If you're dehydrated, even mildly going into the race, you're not going to get any better. So yes, it means making sure you're hydrating properly during the race. It also means hydrating properly before the race. And hydration means more than just water. It also means your electrolytes. So basically, electrolyte is really good, as well as watermelon, tomatoes, fruits and vegetables that have a high water content. So yes, absolutely, make sure you're hydrated from day-to-day life. And also, how soft are your feet? When you look at it, are your feet, like, you look at the bottom of your feet, are they cracked? Are they dry? Need a good lotion. This is wonderful. I love it. Yeah, this is the lotion that I absolutely love. And it smells wonderful. It is amazing to put in your feet. Make sure your feet are nice and soft. The skin's nice and soft, because look at it this way. If something is nice and soft, it bends and plies. If something is dry, it's more likely to crack. So after the shower, or even before you go to bed, put some lotion on your feet to make sure your feet are nice and soft. That is actually a blister prevention. Absolutely. Now, the thing is, when you get a blister on your feet, now, how many of you have had blisters? Put in the comments below where you've had blisters and what type of blisters you've had, because there's different types of blisters, and where you get your blister tells a story of what type of prevention you need to have. So where I'm going to go, number one, toes. Okay. Some people say, well, I have blisters, on my toes, sides of my toes. Okay. Number one, are your shoes wide enough? That's the number one I will look at right there, is, are your shoes wide enough? Number two, have you got a toenail that is a little too long and starting to dig into the side? I used to have that of, oh geez, my toes, because yeah, it's called prevention, is having your toenails cut. Having a nice little pedicure before you go for your race. It's a good idea. And make sure that there's no corners growing, and your toes, they've got some separation. Now, one of the best things to get toe separation, toe socks. Absolutely, toe socks are amazing. I personally am a diehard toe sock fan, and I haven't had a problem. Not with my toes ever since I started wearing toe socks. Okay. Now, balls of the feet. Balls of the feet, and I'm also going to hit on the sides by your heels. If you're getting blisters there, that's probably hydration, that you are dehydrated. Now, again, how hydrated are you going in? How hydrated are you on the day-to-day life, and you're going into the race? Because as I said, You know what? If you're dehydrated, even slightly going in, it's not going to get better during the race. And this is a good thing to watch is your race, the temperature of your race. Now, don't think you can't be dehydrated if it's humid. So watch your race. What's the temperature going to be like, and make sure you're adequately hydrated before you even start. Now, another thing for the balls of the feet, what do your insoles look like? So look on your insoles. Is there something happening here? And if your insoles are something happening here, is there a crack? Is there something embedded in there? That's something you might need a new set of insoles. So take a look at your insoles as to what's happening. Take a look at the whole insole. Are they in really good condition? If not, you need another pair. Oh, and by the way, can you see in my insole that my foot fits inside the insole? That means my foot, that shoe is the proper size for me. That's one way to check if your shoes are the proper size, is whether your foot fits inside your insole. Okay. Also check your socks. Socks could very much be an issue. I know there's many types of really good socks, but not all socks work for me, and that could be an issue with you too. One of my friends, she said, "Man, I'm getting blisters," and so I said, "Well, what about this? What about this?" And I said, "Check your socks," and I recommended going to toe socks. Give them a try. Why not? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to be right where you are. But if you try them and they work for you, perfect. Okay. Now, what kind of material? Wool. Wool is fabulous. Smart Wool has great socks. So the features, I want to say Belega type thing, check them out. There's lots and lots of really good socks out there, but make sure that they draw that moisture away from your foot and allow that material to dry. Now, in wet conditions, as I said, wicking socks, absolutely. Now, you want to make sure your feet have the ability to dry. Now, there's a question of, do you lube your feet? If you're going into wet conditions, yeah, it is actually a good idea to lube your feet. And lube is a personal preference. I used to, until you see the slideshow coming up. But if lube works for you, yeah, it's a good idea to lube your feet, especially if you know that course is going to be wet. It will help keep that moisture barrier away from, like, your feet. The moisture won't come in and affect your feet. You've got that barrier there. So let's talk about foreign objects. So what's a foreign object? Now, when you take your shoes off, you've gone for a run on a dusty road and your feet are dirty. Yeah, that's the dust getting in, and dust is going to get into your shoes no matter what. That's not the foreign object I'm talking about. I'm talking about micro pebbles. I'm talking about tree stems, little branches. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. And when that gets in and starts to cause issue, that's a real race stopper right there. So that's a type of prevention I'm talking about here, particularly is foreign object, and those are great deal preventable. So number one, what kind of socks? Now, these are no-show socks here. They're no-show socks because they come just to the top of your shoe. So they'll sit right, line that properly, right about there. I personally don't like no-shows because stuff gets in here. Okay. And this is the type of sock I was wearing, not the brand. Okay. This is the no-shows, or what I was wearing when you see that slideshow coming up. I got stuff inside these things in my heels, and my heels were a proverbial mess. Now, it might be the way that I run, with my gait, that I kick stuff up into my socks. And it doesn't matter if I'm on a trail road or a road, anything. I get stuff into these no-shows. So for me, these are a no-go. No way. However, I like a crew. Okay. I like a crew sock. This is actually a mini crew. So this is actually tightening around above my ankle. So the chances of junk getting into this is a lot less. Another type of crew, these are also crews. They're a higher crew. Yeah, these are wonderful. These are wonderful. Junk ain't getting in there. So look at crew socks. And another thing to do is gaiters. So gaiters fit above your ankle, and they're actually really good for preventing the junk from getting in there. So if you love no show socks, look at getting gaiters. And gaiters they fit on top of the shoe. It's almost like a sock on the outside for the shoe. These are wonderful. These are actually really good for blister prevention. So this is another way to go. Now, what do you do if you get something inside? Back. I hope we're back. All right, we back yet? Are we live? Excellent. Sorry about that. My internet went poof for a little bit, so we should be back live now. So anyway, yeah, what do you do when you get some foreign object? Stop right away. Stop. And I know that's hard when you got a rhythm, got a movement going, but you know what? Whatever it is isn't going to get any better the further you go. Stop and pick the object out and take a look at the area affected. Sometimes a band-aid will work. Sometimes it won't. And sometimes by the time you look at it, it's actually quite a bit more damage than what you thought. So number one, stop and pick the band, pick it out and and get some padding on that area. Now, blister packs are great. They actually do have padding in them. They also have like a second skin in there. So they're really good, but they don't always stay. So what do you do when you've got actually quite bad blisters and you got a ways to go yet? Okay, so let's go to the slideshow. I'm going to show you, these are my feet. These are my blisters that I had at Trans Selkirk's run a few years ago. It was 2017. And this is not for the faint of heart. So if you're squeamish, you might want to close your eyes for a bit. So here we are. This is me. I'm at the start line. This is great. This is wonderful. And I'm going to be beginning day 3. Now, on day 1, I have actually gotten blisters, my heel blisters. And I finished day 1. And then I was on day 2. I went and gutted it out on day 2, doing the best I could. And I'm starting day 3. So my heels already are in sore condition. And starting day 3, but I pulled the pin really quickly. And here's why. There's my blisters. Those are the blisters I had. Now, I sought medical help at that point of time, and she'll report an antiseptic on there, but you can see, yeah, it looked painful. And Yes, it was. It was very, very painful. So what do you do? And by the way, both heels were like this. So yeah, I was wearing no-show socks. I got grit in there and it was just a mess. So what do you do when you have blisters like this and you still have to go? I'm going to show you something to put in your blister kit, in your first aid kit that actually will help. Okay, so let's, yep, that's what my heels look like. Yep, painful. Sure as the hell was. Yeah, it was. Now, here we go. This is actually moleskin. There's a few layers of moleskin. They're stacked on top of each other, and a hole is cut out in the middle. So what happens is the blister will sit right here. And this is around the blister. And the reason for this donut being so thick is that the shoe will press on the donut and not the blister. It makes a huge difference. And thank you to Andrea Dowd for showing me this. This is also in the book Fixing Your Feet. So this is fantastic. She actually, really saved my race. So this is the donut. You want to have it about 3 or 4 layers thick, and you could pre-make these. You can pre-make these and have these guys ready to go. And honestly, I would pre-make 2 because you might have the chance of both heels going at the same time. Now, these can actually be put other places in your feet, but these are actually great for heels. So there's what that looks like on my foot. That donut is placed on my foot, the blisters in the inside. And on top, this is actually Second Skin. It's a product called Second Skin. You put it in there. It's really good for, as I said, creating second skin. They use it for burns, but this is fabulous for putting on top. It actually helps for the healing process. So what you do is put it in there. Now, the taping begins, and make sure the foot is taped well enough, but not too tight. So actually my foot is being totally taped around my ankle, around my heel. Basically my whole heel is taped up, and this helps prevent that donut from moving anywhere. And it actually, when I slide my foot into my shoes, it actually, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't exactly painless, but at least I was able to continue on with the race. So there's me and my feet, and as you can see, the rest of my feet are there, but I had my heels covered. I had my heels covered. Nothing else could get in, and they were protected. They were fine. Now, I've done this for another race, and it worked out really well. Actually, I was able to go. So that is something to take forward for having in your first aid pack. So there you have it. Let me know, what have you done for blisters? What have you done for blisters? And yeah. Have you had bad blisters? Let me know in the comments. So anyhow, I hope you have an amazing day today. I hope you have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, and we'll be back here next week. I'm not sure what the topic is yet, but we'll think of something. So until then, get out, get some trail, and have a good time.